Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game I played for a week and then I talk about it. This week's game is Into a Dream for the PS4. It was released in 2021 and it's an adventure art experimental game developed by Philip F. Thomas, published by Top Hat Studio Incorporated, and also there will be spoilers up ahead just so you know, but first a little backstory. So I picked this game up because it looked interesting. And that's about it. It's a unique kind of art form that they're using in this one. So at startup, you have a couple of options. You can start up a new game, load a game, go to settings, or roll credits. And the first area is called the Green Forest, and you stand in a strange forest. Everything is like backlit with colors, and all the trees, rocks, yew, and bushes are silhouettes in black. So you play as a short-haired man in a suit, left stick moves him around, and the X button jumps. And the jumping animation looks really choppy and weird. So the first area is basically a tutorial. You climb ledges, you run into water, and this is where the guy flat out says like, I can't swim, and he sinks like a rock. Not for long you run into a box and you push it down the water and you bridge a gap basically. And I think the description on the Steam page said that this game was a puzzle game. There's very little puzzling in this game. It's basically go to one point and go back to another to find a box or a solution or a key or something like that. So eventually you will find a cassette that you can plug into a tape recorder, and once you play the tape you will get the information that you're John and you're inside another guy's mind called Lucas. And you're there to cure his depression. So apparently in the future you can go into people's mind, I guess, with this kind of weird technology. And John is working on a project where he's supposed to make some kind of pure, clean energy. And the whole game is about him and his family and the choices that he makes. And then the screen changes, it becomes colorless, like black and white, and you're in another forest, I guess. And you find a girl on a swing called Annie. And she's asking if you can find her dog. There are a couple of dialogue options, but I don't think it matters which one you pick here. A bit further up on the path you find Luke and a house, and you can talk to him, have a little discussion forward and backwards. And here we have two options. You can either go to the waterfall or the lake. So the puzzle solution is go to the waterfall and you push down a box into the lake, which you can use to get up on a higher platform. So you find the dog Rufus in a cave and you need to lure him out with a stick and you need to collapse the cave. And once that is done, he will run back to Annie and that's all happy news. But the weird thing about Luke is he doesn't seem too happy about the dog getting back. I think he didn't like the dog in the first place. And after this dialogue, Luke offers you a glass of water, so you get inside of his house and you start to explore a bit, and you find out that his wife is called Rita Williams. And when you leave the house, it's actually daylight outside and Anna Luke is gone, and the swing set is broken, and you find a gravestone with Rufus's name on it. And later up the path you find a woman on a bench, and it's actually Luke's wife. And then you talk to Rita and you move on. So there's some electrical wires and devices you need to interact with to cross water, and you push over a log to get over a gap, and eventually you find Luke at the end of a cliff. He's holding a cell phone, he's waiting for an important call, and you talk to him a bit. And then the setting fades again, and it's an Hawaiian like palm tree beach, and there is like a beach party. I really like the silhouette of the palm trees at least, and the whole kind of sunset behind it all. So you talk to some of the party guests and they inform you that Luke is up ahead, and eventually you run into Rita again on the way, and she's working on a novel about two lighthouse keepers. And apparently it's going really well for Luke at this point, so he's started a company, but he's not very happy about it. So the whole puzzle that follows this is you need to find a key to the lighthouse. And you walk up there and you find out that you need some fuel to actually light the lighthouse up. So you find it at the party at the beginning of the stage, and you eventually find your way to Luke. When you eventually confront Luke again, you talk to him about his successes in life, and the scene fades yet again, and you're at someone's wedding. It's actually Anne's wedding, or Annie's. So during this wedding party, you find out that Luke has stepped down from his job as a CEO, and Anne and Luke is in this church. So you talk to Luke about his mom. Apparently she died tragically, and Rita is also there, and you talk about Luke. So this is a really weird thing to explain, but this game really made me depressed. It wasn't really fun to play, and I struggle but trying to keep my spirit up actually. So the puzzle that needs to be fixed in this case, you need to talk to the wedding band to play Luke's comforting song, and once you play that comforting song, it fades to a funeral where Luke's mom Isabel is being buried, and then Luke disappears and you talk to the reverend, and later there's more jumping and swinging over water. So eventually you find a bloody shed and thunder strikes, and you find your back to Luke's house. Rita is there and she's breaking up because of his absence, and Annie's outside in the rain on her swing set. And this is just a really sad thing. It really bummed me out. And then you go back and talk to Luke, and he said that he was so invested in this pure energy program, his job, and he also felt guilty that that his family left him. And this is where I put down my controller and I stopped playing the game, because I believe that a game should have some kind of payoff at the end, or some happy note, or some resolve at least. Maybe it does, but I didn't make it that far. I just felt horrible playing this game, so I just couldn't continue. So gameplay. With the help of John, try to save Luke from his depression. Control. The D-pad and left stick moves John around, the X button jumps, the square button interacts, and square and D-pad moves objects around. The option button is pause. L1 and R1 is run. Graphics. This game was made in the Unity engine, and the graphics is very simple. You have colorful backgrounds, and everything else is in silhouettes like the characters, the bushes, the trees, and rocks. Sound and music. Philip actually made some of the tracks himself, and there are also some other artists credited as well, but it's mostly ambient music. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. So I found out that if you run from one scene to the other and you hold the R or L button in, you can't move, so you actually have to let go of the buttons to continue on. So I guess the developer didn't want you to run through the game. In conclusion, I wrote no, try something else. This game trailer looked interesting and that had a lot of good ideas going for it. However, it doesn't deliver and it's slow. And I was thinking maybe there's like some resolution in the end. So I kept pushing on and it dragged and dragged. And I actually became depressed playing this game, which is something that I don't want to experience. Life is hard as it is. You go through hard stuff and probably there's some payoff in the end, but the game kept on dragging, so I didn't get there, I guess. So I can't recommend this game. Go play something else. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.